Hey everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here today. I have two really fun cards to show you, and I just wanted to show you how you can make some really cool, interesting backgrounds using like an ink pad and a stamp. You don't have to have a bunch of supplies. Today I'm focusing on Message in a Bottle. This is probably one of my favorite stamp sets in the new catalog. I love it. I just love how sweet and cute it is and whimsical, and it actually has a lot of versatility. I have lots of ideas for this stamp set, but I'm only showing you two here today. So the first one, I kind of did this really cute little 1-minute video on my Facebook that you can check out there, that gives you the idea of how I stamped the whales over there. I used the new ticket punch to border punch to punch this edge on Whisper White cardstock. My card base is soft sky, and it's cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches and then folded in half, so it's a top folding card. I'm laying this piece down here, and then I'm layering down a piece of the new Naturally Eclectic Designer Series paper. I really love this paper, and it's super versatile. As you can see here, it kind of looks like water, which is the reason I'm using it with this stamp. I did these little whales. You can see I messed up on the back there. I stamped these little whales in a pattern, and I'm not showing you how I stamped them because it's pretty obvious. I mean, you just ink them up and you stamp them in a row alternating. So you can see there how I've stamped, you know, 3, and then at the underneath it I stamp them in an opposite area so that they're constantly they look like a pattern. They're not all lined up is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I've got my basic black archival ink, which is my very favorite ink to use with photopolymer stamps. It stamps really nice every time, and it is waterproof. However, you do need to let it set for just a little bit to prevent bleeding when you color. So I'm going to use my Tranquil Tide ink here to stamp the water in the bottom of this bottle. And I'm going to do a trick here that I'm going to show you more about in just a minute, but this trick is called generation stamping. So I'm stamping off once, twice, and then the third time is when I'm going to stamp in the bottle. So I'm getting this really, really light, soft, Tranquil Tide color. And you can see there how it's the darkest, and then a next step down. So this would be the third generation stamp that I put on there. All right, we're going to move to the next card while that one sits and dries. This card is going to require the little ship that comes in the set, and I've just masked off the top there because I don't want to stamp over the edge, and I want to be able to lay this flat. And I'm going to create an ombre look or gradient look using this ship. So we're going to start out full speed, as I call it. And that just means that we're using the stamp as is with the ink, just straight on, no stamping off. And you can see I'm kind of stamping off the edge of the paper. I do that on purpose to kind of give some interest to the bottom of the page. It just helps to stamp off just a little bit of on the edge of the paper. And then here you can see I'm just stamping off once and creating that layer. And then I'm stamping off twice and creating that one. Then I'm stamping off 3 times, and it gets this really, really light ship at the very top. So then you have this very gradient ombre look. And then I cut large letters from the large letter dies. You can find those in the catalog. And I colored them using Copic markers. I used the warm gray Copic markers to color them. And I started with W1 and went all the way to W7, I think it was, at the very bottom. So I didn't show how to do that in this video, simply because this video is all about background stamping. But then I took the markers there. You could see there I was going around the edges with the marker to just kind of help these letters stand out a little bit. I wasn't super crazy about the letters, how they they kind of blended in a little too much for me. However, I love the colors together. I love this warm gray with the tranquil tide. It's a very soothing, calming look, I feel like, color-wise. And then the bottom of the dads are a gradient with the background as well. And so the card overall turned out to be pretty cool. I really, really like it. And I just like all the ombre effects that it has. So now we're going to go back to the mermaid card, and I'm going to do my coloring here. And sorry about the camera shake. And I've got crushed curry ink, and I'm just going to kind of add it in stripes here and there on the hair of the mermaid. Then I have berry burst also. I'm going to go in with my blender pen and blend around this ink. Now, a full disclosure, I should say, is that this image was stamped on Bristol cardstock. So Bristol cardstock is a special cardstock for mixed media. And I find that ink tends to set on top of it really, really well. So what that does is it allows you to move the ink around without getting a bunch of splotchy spots and without tearing the paper. So I can blend pretty significantly using this technique without getting any beading of the paper and with it having a really smooth look. Stampin' Up! Whisper White paper is great for a lot of things. It's great for straight stamping, but it just doesn't really lend itself to blending the way that I wish it did. So I have requested Stampin' Up! Come out with special paper for us just for that, and then I would never have to buy other paper. And then this is my Blush Blossom marker, which is no longer available, so sorry about that. But it is the perfect skin tone marker. I've kept it forever, and I don't have the ink refill, so when it runs out, I'm going to be super sad. But it's a really good color for the skin tone if you're doing Caucasian skin tone. Okay, then I'm using my glitter pen, my Winko Stella glitter pen, clear glitter pen, to just kind of go over everything and glitter up her tail and her shells covering her boobies there and her hat. So I make a fatal mistake though that I didn't realize I was making. So you'll see that here in a minute. But first I need to cut out this little bottle that has my trapped teeny tiny mermaid. And so I just fussy cut this out really quick, and I stayed close to the black line so there wouldn't be no white edge. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Now look what I did. Look, because I had used that Winko Stella pen on top of my color, you can see there that it came off on my card, which sucked. It really, really sucked because I'm pretty much finished. So this mermaid went right down in the middle, which was not my plan. So, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And so here is the little sentiment that's all heat embossed. I used Whisper White heat emboss powder and my heat tool to heat emboss the sentiment using Versamark ink, and stamped that and put it down. And I'll show you the other card of how this is actually supposed to look. This is one of my swap cards as well, I should mention, which is something fun that we do as demonstrators. We swap cards with each other. So this is one of them. So this is how it was supposed to look. But either way is actually kind of cute. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you need any of the products that you saw here, the link to them is in the description below this video. You can also go over to my website at loveandstampin.com to see the items there that are for purchase in my online store. Any items that are used that are not Stampin' Up! Related are also listed, but you're not purchasing from me, you're purchasing direct from the seller. You can click on either one of the videos that you see here to watch more, or subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.